Tracking Center. This is a severe weather alert.
And we have an update on that severe thunderstorm moving through Grand Rapids here at the top of the hour. A lot of lightning, very heavy rain. In fact, sheets of rain headed for Grand Rapids in the next several minutes. Here's the good news, though. When we look at wind speeds on radar, it looks like this is weakened a little bit. So what I would expect is 50 to 55 mile per hour winds for downtown Grand Rapids and very heavy rain and a lot of lightning. Of course, this is not a good time to be outside. It would be unsafe to be outside just because of the lightning, but this is quite a dramatic view here as we look at Grand Rapids downtown. Let me take you to Muskegon now. The storm is pushed out here. You can see the waves are coming down. The sun is coming out just before sunset here, a few minutes before sunset. Jenison, we're starting to see the rain off in the distance here. Plenty of lightning, and now to Allendale at GVSU. Dark skies, rain is coming down here in Allendale, and it looks like our camera shot just froze. That might be an indication of what's going on there. Maybe something got hit by lightning. Here's the view on Storm Track Live. You can see heavy rain, very heavy rain with the yellows and reds here. New severe thunderstorm warning has just been extended south into northern parts of Barrie, northern parts of Allegan. And does this new warning include Kent and Ottawa County? I believe it does.
Kent, southeastern Ottawa County, Ionia County, and south central Michigan, and then Allegan County. This is until 10:30 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And we could also see some potential localized flooding, some lightning with this as well.
Okay, and we can safely presume that strong winds are going to be the big problem. We're going to get to Leon Hendricks in just a moment because we're getting a number of power outages because of this. That's an indication that we're seeing power lines getting knocked down from trees falling on them, sheer force of wind, and sometimes transformers getting hit by lightning. But first, let's track some of these thunderstorms here. Montcalm, northern Kent, northern Ottawa getting very heavy rain right now. We're tracking the leading edge of the rain. Now keep in mind there may be some very strong gusty winds out ahead of this. We'll start with Carson City, Montcalm County, just a few minutes from now. So this is the eastern part of Montcalm County, not in the morning, but Comstock Park, you're in the morning. Walker, Grand Rapids, Jenison, 9:13 here in southern Ottawa County. Hudsonville, Georgetown Township, Zeeland, 9:13. Here's Holland at 9:19. Saugatuck now in western Allegan County. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning. 9:29 for you. 9:43 for Hopkins. So we're talking about places like Gun Lake. Over to Allegan about 9:50. You're just barely on the edge of this severe thunderstorm warning as this thing keeps trucking south. Freeport by about 9:38 tonight. And we'll see this thunderstorm into Woodland at 9:46. Torrential rainfall, a ton of lightning, and also the possibility for winds that could exceed 60 miles per hour. And take a look at lightning. Lightning counter right now at 4,500. And when we consider we're just looking at several hundred square miles, perhaps 1,000 square miles, that's a very serious concentration of lightning. And that's part of the reason why we're getting a lot of power outages. I want to send it down to the newsroom right now. Leon Hendricks is watching the Consumers Energy power outage map. Also, we're getting a lot of reports of severe weather damage into the newsroom from all across West Michigan here north of this line where it's already passed through. Leon?
Is the reports of trees down, a lot of those same trees bringing down power lines with them. And with that, we are seeing a number of power outages. Let's get right to the map here. This kind of is one of our first indicators as to where the damages that we're seeing. And we do have this set up in county view mode right now. And the hardest hit is that we're seeing is Kent County. And as we've already seen with your tracking, this storm hasn't even moved all the way through us yet. And we've got more than 15,000 people without power. If we go to the street map view, we are able to see just exactly where these outages are. And you can see a lot of them are kind of outlying areas. The yellow is the lighter number of power outages. So not a whole lot in the downtown area. But as you can see in other parts of the city here along I-96, we've got a major outage there. The red color indicates more than 1,000 people in those zones without power. So if you know folks who live in that area, keep in mind that they may be in the dark, and with the temperatures that we've seen out there and the humidities, it can get pretty uncomfortable for some folks. And if they already have some health conditions. It could be dangerous for them. So keep that in mind as well. But Consumers Energy really is going to have to wait until these storms move through to even try and fix any of this. So don't expect to get any idea as to when we might see restoration until the storms actually do move through our area. But again, the word from Kent County is that more than 15,000 people are without power. Muskegon County is also dealing with a number of outages as well. They've got some 5,000 people without power. So you're definitely not alone, Grand Rapids, in dealing with the outages that we're seeing. Let's get to some of the damage video that we've seen come through Kent County now. A lot of this actually came through ahead of the storm system. The damage, any damage that's going to be caused by the actual line of storms is yet to come, because that's moving through now. But listen.
Told you.
That's a tree falling there, southeast Grand Rapids B and Caulfield, right there near 131, southeast side Grand Rapids. You see those folks thankfully were far enough from that tree so where no one was hurt from that incident. But those types of incidents is what is causing the outages that we're seeing. Another shot we do have here as well from Watson and Garfield, also southeast Grand Rapids. Trees falling down. We've gotten some pictures in from that area as well. A lot of times the most dangerous part of the storm can be after it moves through and folks try to step out and they don't realize that there's a power line. A lot of these power lines are black and in the dark you can't see them. So if you've got a downed tree, if you're seeing damage, it's best to really be super careful if you're going to step outside, or don't step outside at all. So that's the situation we're tracking down here. Again, more than 15,000 people in the Grand Rapids area without power. Consumers Energy likely expecting that number to rise as the storm moves through and heads southward through our viewing area. But right now we are going to send things back to the 24-hour tracking center. Ellen and Kyle with an update on what's happening there.
Leon, we're looking live at downtown Grand Rapids. This is what we told you was coming. Torrential rain, a ton of lightning. You know, we haven't had much for hail reports out of this. We've seen some small hail reports, but you can see that the lightning is flashing almost constantly, and this rain is just coming down in sheets. I'm looking upstream here. It looks like we've seen rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches in a couple of areas, but mostly a widespread 1 to 2 inches, which frankly we need that. It's been so dry here for the last, I believe it's been 12 days since we've had more than a trace of rainfall, 12 or almost 2 weeks here in Grand Rapids. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for the city of Grand Rapids, southern Kent County, southern Ottawa County. This includes Holland and Zeeland, and then a good chunk of Barrie and Allegan County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, a lot of lightning, perhaps some small hail, but I think the winds are going to be the doozy for us here across West Michigan. Jenison now, this is southeastern Ottawa County. We're seeing the same flashes of lightning. The rain has yet to move into Jenison. It looks like the rain is just moments away from really starting and coming down in very heavy sheets in Granville, Wyoming, and Jenison, just a few moments away for you. Now to Allendale, heavy rain coming down here. A lot of lightning. This is the campus of Grand Valley State University. Let me show you Storm Track Live. Look at all this lightning. Look at all this heavy rain. In fact, let's turn off lightning and you can see the cores underneath this. Very vivid areas of red and yellow showing up right now on Storm Track Live. This thing's moving southeastward. The speed has been updated about 35 or 40 miles per hour. That's the trajectory. And so when we track this all the way down to Kalamazoo County in a moment, you'll see that that storm is headed your way. First thing I want to do is take you in right into Grand Rapids. We'll do some hyper-local tracking here. The heavy rain is moving into the city of Grand Rapids right now. Kentwood here by about 9:21. Let's take it out to the airport here. This is Cascade Township. This is Gerald R. Ford International Airport right here. The storm is going to be here about 9:25 or so, and it's going to affect Lowell, Cascade Township down to Lake Odessa. Alto's right here. 9:18 for you. Let's take it in a little bit closer. I want to show you a tight view of southwestern Ottawa County, Holland. You're just a few moments away from seeing this storm. Here it is, the heaviest of the rain moving into Grand Rapids. Here's Holland. All the way up to West Olive, you're seeing the heaviest of it come down right now. It is pouring sheets of rain in Port Sheldon right now. 9:15 for West Olive. Here's Castle Park, just into Allegan County. Holland, Laketown Township Beach, right here. Beautiful little beach. I was there over the weekend. Heavy, heavy rain coming into Holland, 9:21 p.m. Let's zoom out the view just a little bit. I want to take this down to Kalamazoo now, because this is even though it's weakened just a little bit, this is going to hold together, and this will impact Kalamazoo later tonight. Leading edge of it right here down to Kalamazoo, about 10:21, Battle Creek, Marshall area. down to Albion. 10:30, 11 o'clock. This storm is packing a lot of rain. Can we zoom back up to the Grand Rapids Skycam? I want to give you an update on what's going on here downtown Grand Rapids with the Skycam currently. We're seeing some really heavy rain, torrential rainfall. That's Allendale. Heavy rain here, same thing in Jenison. A lot of lightning here in Jenison. And Grand Rapids, the sky is looking black, just dark. Really, really heavy rain coming down right now. With rain coming down at this type of a rainfall rate, I expect to see, at the minimum, some nuisance flooding. Storm Team 8 meteorologist Ellen Baca here. You've been monitoring the National Weather Service chat page,
Yes.
working your sources, scouring the information out there. What are you seeing right now?
Well, a lot of it is small tree damage at this time. As Leon was mentioning, we also have a lot of those power outages, and that hail report count is very small, very low. So we have some pea-sized hail, some die-sized hail. Earlier today, over in West Branch, that's on the east side of the state, they had baseball-sized hail. So we're fortunate in that we're not seeing that type of a hail report. Fastest winds still around the Muskegon County area. However, that could change as this line of storms continues to trickle down to the south.
And what I'm seeing from this is a little bit of a weakening. It looked like it peaked. I think this storm line had its glory day right over Muskegon. Since then, it's weakened a little bit, but still, as pointed out by the National Weather Service, 50, 60 mile per hour winds seem like a real possibility with this storm as it pushes southeastward.
And the spot near Holland is the one that's most intense at this time. So Grand Rapids, it looks really intimidating, and by all means it is. We have those fast wind gusts, but in comparison, it does look like Holland might get the brunt of this.
And here's the good news. You mentioned the hail threat was elsewhere. We're not seeing hail. And I'm looking at rotation constantly. Every scan of radar that comes in here, Ellen, and I don't see anything that concerns me whatsoever. Now, we've seen a lot of broad scale rotation just with what's going on synoptically, or big scale stuff here, but we haven't seen anything tighten up.
Nope.
And that's a good sign. We're going to keep monitoring that very carefully. But right now, this seems like purely a heavy rain, a lightning, and perhaps a strong straight line wind event with winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. We'll get back to regular programming for now, but as this storm evolves and pushes through West Michigan, we're going to keep you updated here on Wood TV, also website woodtv.com, and social media. For now, back to your show.